Good evening. Tonight we're going to do Module 3, Lesson 35. I can multiply two-digit multiples of 10 by two-digit numbers using the area model. So it kind of looks like something like this. So if we use 24 times 30 and we create an area model, and this is going to be 30, and we are going to break apart this 24. And we're going to make this part bigger because this is going to represent 20, and this little part is going to represent 4. So what we do is that we are going to multiply these numbers to get what the area of each one of these boxes are. So what we do first is we do 30 times 4. 30 times 4 is 120. 3 times 4 is 12, and then there's your 0, 120. And then over here on this side, then we do 30 times 20. 30 times 20 is 600. So these are what we call the partial products. And we've done partial products before. So what we would do is we would take 120 and we would put them in our standard algorithm, and then we would take this last one, 600, and we would add these partial products up to get 720. So this is what we are going to kind of focus on today, is using area models to multiply two-digit multiples of 10. So let's get started. Okay, so 30 times 17 is our next number, and we're going to put 30 on this side, and this part represents 17. So we want to kind of break up 17, decompose it, and this side's going to become a 10, and this one's going to become a 7. We broke up 17. So then we can multiply each one of these sides to get the area of this box and then the area of this rectangle. So what we're going to do first is we are going to multiply 7 times 30. And when we do 30 times 7, we get 210. And then when we go over here, we do 30 times 10. That's 3 tens times 1 10. We get 300. So what we have to do is we need to take these, because these are partial products. And we need to take this partial product and bring it over here. So this becomes 210. And then we need to do the same thing for the 300. We need to take this one and bring it over here because it's our second partial product. And we get 210 plus 300 equals 510. So the product of 30 times 17 is 510. Okay, our next one is 50 times 38. So now we're going to use our area model, and we're going to put each number. So we're going to be multiplying by 50, so I'll put 50 on this side. And remember, this part represents 38. So we're going to decompose 38, and we're going to put 30 here, 3 tens, and then 8 ones in this side, because this is going to represent 30. This whole side's 30. And then we're going to use this smaller one to represent the 8. So now let's start multiplying. We are going to start multiplying 50 times 8. Now 5 times 8 is 40, and then we have that 0, so it's 400. And then we have over here 50 times 30, and we know 5 times 3 is 15, and we have 2 zeros. So now we have our two partial products. Now we have to place these partial products in our standard algorithm. So let's start doing that. So over here we've got 50 times 8, and 50 times 8 is 400. And we've got 50 times 30, which represents 1,500. So over here, if you notice, when we place our partial products, make sure that your ones, your tens, and your hundreds, and your thousands are properly lined up. Because if they're not lined up appropriately, you will make a calculation error. So be very aware of when you're placing your partial products and lining them up appropriately. And And making sure they're not sloppy either, because then that will help you, that will make it mess up also. So now let's add up our partial products. And we got 0 in the ones, 0 in the tens, 9 in the hundreds, and 1 in the thousand. So the product of 38 times 50 is 1,900. Okay, our next problem says, draw an area model to represent the following expressions, then record the partial products vertically and solve. So we're not going to do the 5. We're going to focus tonight on this number 4, which is 19 times 60. And we are going to draw out an area model. We're going to represent that 60 in the 10 big, and then the 9 ones a little bit smaller. So this represents this side 60, and this part represents the 19. And we're going to decompose the 19. This side is 10, and the ones is a 9. So now we can start multiplying. 60 times 9, remember 6 times 9 is 54, and we have our 0, so it becomes 540. So let's place that, now our first partial product, 540. And then we are going to go and multiply 60 times 10 becomes 600. And then now let's make sure we're lining up our numbers. 600. And we're going to add our partial products to get 0 in the ones, 4 in the tens, and it becomes 11 hundredths, which represents 1,140. So make sure we are placing these numbers correctly. Visualize the area model and solve the following expressions numerically. We're not going to do number 7 tonight. We're going to focus on number 6. And this is telling you to visualize, all right? So maybe try to think about that area model, what it would look like. But solving it using the, just solving it like the regular way. And let's take 88 and timesing this by 20, multiply it by 20. And if we look at this very carefully, we're going to say this becomes a 20 times 8. All right, so 20 times 8. Do not worry about this 8 because that's the next partial product. But the first partial product is going to be 20 times the 8. And 20 times 8, 8 times 2 is 16, and then there's our 0. Then we're going to focus on the tens. So this is not becoming 88. What place is this? This is the 10, so this is really an 80. And the place of this is a 20. So this becomes 80 times 20 is 1,600. And we add up our partial products. 0 in the ones, 6 in the tens, 7 in the hundreds, and 1 in the thousands. So this becomes 1,760. Now if I want to go back and try to create that area model, and I would split this up. This becomes an 80 up here because it represents 88, and this side becomes a 20. So if we look at this, we're saying 20 times 8, 20 times 8, like what we got over here, becomes 160. And then over here, remember this place is not like representing 88, this is an 80 because we decomposed it. 80 times 20 is 1,600. So this is what we would hope to visualize in our mind to get to this. All right, it looks like a long road ahead, but I know you can do it. Continue to do your best. 40 times 58. Use the area model and then use that standard algorithm by placing the partial products to solve for your product. And show me your work tomorrow. Number 2, draw an area model. Make sure I'm seeing an area model to represent the following expression, and then record the partial products vertically and solve. So it's 20 times 44. Please bring your area model and your partial products tomorrow so you can show me. Now it says to visualize the area model like I did before and solve the expression numerically. If you need to bring back that area model, that's fine, but please bring this work to show me tomorrow. I want to see those partial products for 30 times 88. Way to go! You did it! You persevered. You reached the top for that long road. Have a wonderful night.